Today, I'm going to show you guys how we make wood binding. Okay guys, in the last video, I showed you how we do cream binding and all of the advantages to having binding on your neck and why I think every neck should have binding on it. And there's a lot of people who really wanted to see how we do wood binding. Of course, you can buy wood binding from StuMac, but we use so much wood binding now on necks that we just started making our own. But if you don't have a bunch of tools, then maybe just buying the wood binding is the least cost prohibitive way to go. But enough of the bullshit talk. Let's start using power tools and let's start making some binding. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run my piece of wood that will eventually become binding over my jointer and get one smooth side. Actually, I'm going to get two smooth sides, this one, and then I'm going to cut them out on the bandsaw. So here are my rough cut binding strips. One side has a joined edge, which means it is smooth and flat. What we're going to do is we're going to double stick tape it onto this piece of MDF so that the planed side or the joined side is facing down, and then we're going to run the tops through the thickness sander. The reason we're putting them on MDF first is because my thickness sander doesn't go down to this thin, and it needs to go even thinner. In fact, we're going to make neck binding, so this needs to be 60 thousandths or thereabout. Never a bad idea to clean up the edge that you're going to be gluing the wood binding or even the plastic binding to, and just make sure that you don't have any weird bumps, and if you do, get rid of them. And of course, don't forget to saw through your little tiny tone wood plugs that helped you index the board before gluing. All right, so I got my neck is ready to receive the binding, and I'm going to put that on my body here and get the binding back into action. Now what we got to do is we got to remove the binding from the MDF and its double stick tape, and if you go too fast, it is possible that you can crack this stuff, because it's not as forgiving as say ABS plastic is. So sometimes I like to just grab hold of the tape and pull it off. Then you can peel the double stick tape off of your wood binding. And of course, if you're buying wood binding, you don't have to do all this stuff. All right. That looks pretty good. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to glue this piece to this piece. But first, we're going to cut it in half so we have two pieces. It should go without saying that the side with the saw cuts on it should not be the side that you glue to the bottom. We want to glue the side to the bottom that has the nice factory joined edge. Okay? So it's going to look a little like that. So everything that we did in the previous glue up using ABS binding is going to be the same, except we're going to use regular Titebond glue, and we're going to do it before it's radiused. So we're going to put regular Titebond on here, and we're going to glue these guys down, and we're going to have a really, really nice flame maple wood binding.
Flavor I soon can't forget. Yeah! Filling a base of heavy chunks of pork, so damn tender you can cut them with a fork. Throwing an onion to sweeten the pot, stir it all around and see what you got. Gotta give me some of that before I start to lose it and make it angry. Can't see my hot green chili. Chili, long lasting flavor I soon can't forget. Yeah!
Bunch of necks with wood binding. These are all for our Challenger guitars, and I think that the wood binding looks really, really, really cool on these guitars. So making wood binding is certainly more difficult than installing wood binding. If you don't have a bunch of tools, I might not recommend that you make your own wood binding. Fortunately, there's lots of places that offer wood binding that's ready to go. LMII, StuMac, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other places. But wood binding is cool, and it looks neat, and it's just a cool kind of upgrade, I think, over plastic. On these, since everything is now wood, I'm going to go ahead and do my radius now that everything is glued up, and it just makes life a little easier. But if you guys have any more questions about what we did in this video, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you like wood binding better than plastic binding, let me know that too, because I think that's a cool thing. If you like the video, give me the thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you click the subscribe button? And if you appreciate content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. Even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us bring you guys neat stuff like this. But if you can't do Patreon, I totally get it. Just share the video as many places as you can think of and help us grow the channel that way. So if you have any ideas for new videos, please let me know. Even if it's stuff that, doesn't really apply to people who don't have a buttload of tools in a great big tool warehouse. I've been getting a bunch of people who are like, all you do is use tools that nobody else has. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. You don't have to use all these tools. we have them, so we use them. And yeah, you don't have to have all this stuff to build super, super awesome guitars. Ask me how I know. So until next time, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what I did. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next time.
I wanna play my guitar,